Some people may ask, what the bloody hell am I doing in Devon? Well, we have a new addition to the fleet. It's a Rover, and it's bloody awesome. Well, I figured today was as good a day to start the introductory video to the Mini replacement, which is a Rover 75, which is a bargain barge, basement even of all the bargain barges, which I picked up last week from Devon, and I must admit I've been thoroughly enjoying punting around in it. It's ever so comfortable, which is exactly what I wanted. Oh my god, you sit in this thing and it's like an armchair. You know, you can see why old people love them so much. They're just glorious. So what do we think of the Rover? Well, the Rover's excellent. I've cleaned the steering wheel. I'll put a little overlay in of that because it was horrible and filthy. And I mean, it's got such mod cons as iPhone connectivity, heated seats, electric blind. But the big problem is I noticed when I picked it up there's a noise coming from the engine, and I was hoping it was a tensioner, maybe alternator, something like that. But no, it turns out it's the cam belt tensioner. So I've been doing loads of research on how to change the cam belt, and I've decided, in the spirit of it being a bargain barge, because this was just £800 and it is a bit rough, you know, its door panels are coming off, the paint's not great, you know, it's not a car that's best enjoyed with minimal investment. So I'm just going to change the tensioner. I'm going to leave the belts, and I know that may be contentious and some people may want to hang me, but it's an £800 car. I'm not paying a garage £500 or £600 to change the belts. I also don't want to scrap it or sell it on. I'm quite open to enjoy this car for 4 or 5 months. It also needs a track roll end doing because there's a horrible knock, but other than that, it drives really nicely. I'm very, very fond of it. So yeah, I will do a quick edity fancy bit of all of the stuff I've done to it so far. But you'll join me this week for the changing of the tensioner. And then I will keep a running log of just how much I'm spending on this car, how much it's costing me in fuel. It's not ULEZ, so how much it costs me in ULEZ, and weigh that against continuing to run the Mini, which I have on a lease purchase hire thing. The interest is ridiculous, but it is only £185 a month and it sips fuel. So, you know, just so people can compare and contrast about real world usage of something like this, which has a 2.5 litre V6, but ultimately is right at the bottom of the market. You know, there aren't many cars nowadays you can pick up for less than £1,000 that are as good as this, cam belt accepting. You know, a 12 months ticket on it. So, you know, let's give it a whirl, see how it goes. But join me for more japes in a Rover 75. And as you can see, the garage is empty. There is no Elan in there at the moment. The Elan is still in Nottingham, being fettled, and I will do an update video on the Elan when it's back. But it's the 4th of June and it's due to be on track on the 17th, so it's got to get a wiggle on. Anyway, enjoy the ride. All right, so Rover update. The steering wheel is just Mancus Maximus. Horrible, horrible, horrible. As are a few of the interior trims. So seeing as I can do this for free, I'm hoping where it's worn through, I'm just going to leave it. I can get some dye, but just as long as it's not sticky and horrible. So I have microfibers, toothbrush, fairy, magic pads. Watch me go. So this is a very technical process which involves scrubbing the steering wheel, toothbrush, like so. Then wiping it. I mean, this job will take me all of 5 minutes, and someone's been living with this. I mean, that can't be fixed, but I mean, look at the difference here. Let me see if I can get it to the bits I haven't done. Oh, it's just horrible. I'll do a 50-50 down there so you can see. And there we go, literally 15 seconds later. That looks like it could do with another bit with the brush, but why don't people do this? Disgusting animals. And then just when you think you're done, you look at the back. Oh my God. Oh my God. That just won't do at all. Right, let's see if I can catch the old magic sponge in action. Oh, it's just brilliant. Oh. Yeah. Look at that. Does a great job. I'll find a clean bit. Right. Clean. A bit of water. Yucky. These things are great. They're on Amazon for like, I don't know, £2 or £3. Definitely buy them. They're just great for things like this. I don't really know how they work, but they just do. I mean, it cleaned this up beautifully. It just, I don't know, they're just magical. Right, let's see if I can catch the old magic sponge in action. Oh, it's just brilliant. Oh. Yeah.
If you listen carefully, you can hear it. It sounds like a very, not high pitched, but stressed, speeded up duck. So yeah.
Alright, Rover fans. Right, this is probably going to be my worst video ever because it's been so disjointed, but I've got the wheel off because I need to investigate a drive belt noise, and you've got to take all of these off. But while I was here, I also found what part of the knocking was. I can make it knock. Anyway, it's that. So, haven't got the parts, so I'm just WD-40ing them, which I know isn't as good as Plus Gas, but it's all I've got. So I'll change that next week. And now just taking off all the screws to get the arch liner off. Okay, well, the ABS sensor has destroyed itself. Hopefully that will still work. Brake pad sensor didn't fare any better. But what can we see under here? Well, engine mount looked mint. That's that engine mount. In fact, very clean and tidy there. Get down to the drive belt. The drive belt is absolutely knackered, so that will need changing. And what we have down here is the crank pulley and the air conditioner. Now, somewhere there will be a power steering. start this up and stick the screwdriver on it and see one of them's making a big noise. Well, I'm absolutely mystified if I know where this bloody noise is coming from. Right, I've gone with the obvious route of just removing the belt. There is a tensioner behind here which I can't easily get to, so I'm just going to start it up and see if it makes any noise without the belt on, and then we'll know at least its sort of origin. Still making a noise. What God's green earth can it be?
On the third revisit, I eventually stuck my screwdriver stethoscope to the right area, and it's the rusty cylinder you can see is the hydraulic tensioner, and that pushes directly onto the time belt tensioner pulley, and that was what was making the noise. Good news, I'd found the problem. Bad news, it was the hardest to access pulley of them all, and is going to require some questionable ethics around replacing it without doing the whole cam belt. So yeah, I will leave you in the hands of Ollie from Saturday, who will guide you through it. I'm trying to counteract the wind noise as much as I can, but the problem we got with the KV6 is all of this has got to come off, because the belt you can see down there is the auxiliary belt, and the cam belt runs here. So AC, power steering's got to come off, but you've got engine mounts, engine brackets, and then the cam belt actually runs under an alley plate. So yeah, it's a case of car up in the air, jack the engine, and then remove all of this, which I'll see if I can get done today, and if I can, that would be amazing. And then yeah, whip the tensioner off, get a new one on Monday next week, fit it, and hopefully enjoy a few thousand miles of trouble-free motoring. But yeah, there's good videos on this on the internet, so I don't think I'll do a better one because I'm doing a really big bodge job, but you know, feel free to follow along. Well, chaps, this is where I've got to. I've got the engine mounts off. Lord knows how this is removed. I don't know if it screws onto the chassis, but there's no holes to get at it. No mounting underneath. Maybe magic. So I'm going to take the aux belt off. Now I probably should replace this, but it's a budget job, so it might stay on. I'm going to take that off. Alternator needs to be moved. Power steering pump needs to be moved. Belt covers need to come off. And then, to be fair, I don't think that we're far away from taking the timing cover off. It's actually not going too badly. I think before the timing cover comes off, there's an oil cooler down here that needs moving, and the AC pump needs 2 bolts coming out. But yeah, it's going alright so far. And here are all the bits that you can't get to without moving the engine around, but making progress. Okay, now how are we doing? I've been making some bloody progress here. After fighting with the oil cooler and having to get the angry disc out, the front timing cover's off, with only 2 injuries to the covers here and here, which both sadly gave part of their lives in the force of me bruting them off. But now I'm no cam belt expert, but this is awfully loose. I mean, you can, I could slide that off, I reckon. It's got no tension on it at all. Boingy, boingy, boingy. So, what am I going to do? I reckon it's because that tensioner there isn't tensioned enough, and I have been reading up about this. Apparently, the manual said they came preset, but they didn't. So they need presetting. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take up the tension of this belt. It feels quite tense there. That's tense. It's this bit that isn't, which is really odd. Because that is tense. Oh God, I mean, this is all new to me. Anyway, I'm going to take the tension up with some clamps, and I'm going to take that off and have a look at what's going on. Gotcha, you bastard. Smooth, then not smooth. Can't really do it with one hand. Yeah. So, yeah, I've already ordered one. Should be here on Tuesday. It was £30. So I'm going to take the tensioner off because I'm going to need to reset that so I can get it back in. And then hopefully it will all be sorted. But yeah, that was probably 4 hours work. Could have done it in 3 if the oil cooler had come off without me having to get the grinder out. But fortunately, it seemed that the steel bolts were just galvanic welded, or whatever that bloody word is, to the actual oil cooler, and the threads themselves came, once I got the heads off, they twisted out by hand, which was rather annoying. So just some new M8s in there, easy. Yeah, and apart from the cam covers where I got a little bit medieval, should have been more patient, nothing damaged, all came out. Stuff was in difficult positions, but it was all quite logical. It was actually one of the more enjoyable jobs I've done on a car. So yeah, it looks a bit sorry for itself now, but this, not only was it an awful noise, but it could have potentially taken the whole car down. So I'm going to be a very, very contentious person and just replace this. I'm not going to touch the cam belt at all, or the water pump, which does look a little bit hairy. I'm just going to go, it's a bargain basement motor, and if I start doing more stuff on it, it doesn't become a bargain basement motor. I'm spending £30, 30 quid. No special tools, no fuck all. 30 quid. Yes, I love you too. Don't look at me like that. Don't look at me like that. Oh, for fuck's sake, you're going to want more, aren't you? Look, how about if I change the tensioner and I give you some new track rod ends, yeah? We'll revisit it in August. If you're still being good, we'll see what else we can give you, okay? Yeah? Okay, good. Good. Right, agreed. I'll just change this. I'll even put a genuine bit on it. Well, eBay says it's genuine. Anyway, I'm going to attempt to edit this video together tonight. It's going to be a hodgepodge of different bits that I've taken over the past week. So I collected it down in Devon, and yeah, I just dropped my girlfriend off at the station in the Mini, which is lurking there. Oh, it's not as good as the Rover, you know. It's not as good as the Rover. So, oh, what a bloody afternoon that was.